concept, magnetic force and a current carrying conductor. So in the previous class, we have studied what is the magnetic force on a charge. Now that magnitude of the magnetic force is given by Q, V, B, sin theta, that we have studied. Okay. Therefore, the magnetic force on a charge depends on the velocity, the magnetic field, and theta angle, sign of the angle, that is the angle between the velocity vector and the field vector. And the direction of this magnetic force is always perpendicular to the plane containing the velocity vector and the magnetic field vector. Clear? Now here we are going to study, we have a conductor, we have a rod through which a current is flowing. Now if thus the current carrying conductor is placed in an external field, obviously it also experiences the magnetic force. Now what is the expression for magnetic force for a current carrying conductor? That we are going to derive it. For that one, I will write a simple diagram. Now we have a conductor. Okay, we have a conductor. It is carrying a current. Conductor is carrying a current. Then we have a magnet which provides the magnetic field. Now the direction of the magnetic field is from north to the south. Direction of the magnetic field is north to the south, and we have a conductor which is carrying a current along this direction. That is, current is coming out of the plane of the paper or the board. Current board in the ಆಚೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. That is, we are placing the conductor like this. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, then obviously it experiences a force. ಆ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರ್ತದೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ, that we will work out. So current carry ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, it is to be connected to an external source. Okay, external source connect ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು current ಅನ್ನು carry ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. That is a simple diagram. Okay, there is no need of this diagram. Now we will work out the derivation part. Now consider a conductor. Now this is a conductor. It is in the form of a rod of uniform cross-sectional area. A is the cross-section. And L is the length of the conductor. L is the length of the conductor. Now it is carrying a current I. It is carrying a current I. Okay. Let small n be the number density of the charge carriers. Small n is number density. Of the charge carriers. That is number of charges per unit volume. Number of charges per unit volume. Then how many number of charges are there in the entire volume of the conductor? We want the total number of charges. Therefore, total charge. How can you get this one total charge? Total charge is equal to this one, that is charge density, number of charges per unit volume, multiplied by volume of that rod. ಯೂನಿಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ರಾಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಇಟ್ ಬೈ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ರಾಡ್. Therefore this is simply n into volume of the rod is, it is area of cross section multiplied by length. Now this NaL gives the total number of charges present. Total number of charges are present. Then what is the total charge in the conductor? That means I have to multiply charge of one particle with this number. Okay. Since we have taken a conductor, in the case of a conductor, electrons are the charge carriers. And one more thing, the electrons are moving in opposite direction to the conventional flow of current that we have studied. Electrons ಯಾವ direction ಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ opposite direction ನಾವು conventional current flow ಆಗೋದನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಉಂಟು, ಬಟ್ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನಲ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಉಂಟು. therefore total number of positive charges, total positive charge ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ total positive charge ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ charge of one electron, even though it is negative, since we are taking the motion of the positive charges, therefore we are taking the magnitude of the charge of the electron. This multiplied by the number of electrons. This is the number of electrons and charge of one electron. Now this number gives the total charge present in that volume of the conductor. Now already we are familiar in the previous that a single charge experiences this magnetic force. Okay. Now I am applying the magnetic field by placing a horseshoe magnet. Now the magnetic field direction is from top to the bottom. Now in the presence of the external field B, now B is external field. Now you are not supposed to confuse this B with the magnetic field produced by the motion of the charges. Okay. So E B ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್, ಬಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದಲೂ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಓಕೆ. Now we have applied an external field. In the presence of the field, these charges are moving and they experience a force, the magnetic force. Therefore, this is the magnetic force experienced by a single charge. Then what is the magnetic force experienced by the entire charges moving in a conductor? ಎಲ್ಲ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಉಂಟು, ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು Q, that is charge, total charge. Now this is what we have, total charge. That is, I will write N E A L. It is the total charge present. If I write it first, I will write it in the vector form. Okay, vector F is equal to, now this is the charge multiplied by the velocity. Now as and when the current starts to flow, the charge carriers are drifting with a velocity, that is drift velocity. We are already familiar with that. Current flow ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ electrons move ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದಾವೆ, they are drifting with a certain velocity, average velocity. Now that average velocity we have taken it as a drift velocity. Now cross multiple of the magnetic field, the external magnetic field. Now this equation we have written in this fashion. Now here sin theta, because of that one we are having a cross product. Obviously look here, magnetic field is from top to the bottom and the current is coming out of the plane of the board. Therefore the angle between the velocity vector and the field vector is 90 degree. Therefore sin 90 is 1. Okay. Now this is the expression for the force experienced by the entire charges. Now let me rearrange this one. Now in the previous class, previous chapter, we have studied the expression for current in terms of drift velocity is equal to N E A into Vd, that we have studied. And we have defined one more quantity, that is current density, which is a vector quantity, is equal to I by A. Now that is equal to N E Vd, that we know. So therefore, if I rearrange the terms, N E Vd, N E Vd, so I will write it here. Now force F, magnetic force F is equal to N E Vd, rearranging the terms, into A into L Now cross B. Now here is the cross product. Just I have rearranged the term. Now NEVD is nothing but the current density, which is a vector quantity. Current density into A into L cross multiple of vector B. Okay. Now, what is current density into area? Now look here, current density into area, vector J into A becomes the electric current. Now one very important thing you should remember here, current density is a vector quantity, but current is a scalar quantity. Clear? Now here we have a vector. Now this force is the cross product of two vectors. Now I am replacing J into A by the current I. Okay. Now J into A is nothing but the current I. If I replace it by a current I, it becomes a scalar quantity. Now here we are having cross product of with vector B. Here one thing you should have one more vector to get the cross product. It should not be violated. So therefore, what we are going to make is, we are shifting this vector notation from the current density vector to the length vector. Even though length is a scalar, so here current multiplied the length is taken as a vector quantity, and this is called the current element. That one we call it as current element. Therefore, the force experienced by the current carrying conductor in the presence of an external field is I L cross B. If you write in terms of magnitude, is equal to I L B sin theta. I L B sin theta. For this case, theta is 90 degree. Therefore, the magnitude of the force experienced by a current carrying conductor placed in an external magnetic field is I L B. You should remember these two expressions. Now this one, it is general expression, and this one is a particular expression in which the direction of the current, that is length, direction of the current, and as well as the direction of the magnetic field, they are perpendicular to, mutually perpendicular to each other, then it becomes the case. Now one thing here also you should remember, this magnetic field is not due to the motion of the charges. It is an external magnetic field. Should remember that one. Only in the presence of the external magnetic field, this current carrying conductor experiences magnetic force. Now where is the direction of the force? So since this conductor is experiencing a magnetic force, it should move in a particular direction. Now what is the direction of the force? Now that is worked out by using right hand clasp rule or right hand screw rule. So look here, I will write the diagram. So therefore, it experiences a magnetic force along this direction. Now current direction is this one, magnetic field is along this direction, conductor experiences a force in the right side direction. Okay. Here we have taken a straight conductor. If the conductor is having any arbitrary shape, then how can you calculate the force? Now in that case, we have to divide the conductor into small equivalent pieces so that we get a straight portion. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರ್ಬಿಟ್ರರಿ ಶೇಪ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಬರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಬರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಇಟ್. ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಈಚ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಎಲ್. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಲೆಂತ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲರ್ ಪೀಸಸ್ ಡಿಎಲ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಇರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಆ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ನ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸೊ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ದ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ದ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೀಸಸ್ in an arbitrary shaped conductor, so it is a sigma notation. That is, it is the force due to these elementary pieces, it is I into dl with j. J stands for the number of elements and cross multiple of this is vector B, magnetic field. Now like this we are going to calculate the total force experienced by an arbitrary shaped conductor carrying a current. It should carry the current in any particular direction. Clear? Now we will work out one problem. A straight wire of mass 200 gram and length 1.5 meter. It carries a current of 2 amps. It is suspended in mid-air by a uniform horizontal magnetic field, vector B. What is the magnitude of the magnetic field? Okay. So the diagram is like this. We have a conducting wire of length 1.5 meter and its mass is given 200 gram. It is placed in a magnetic field. The direction of the field is also given. It is into. Since we have written into, it is into the plane of the board and the current is along this direction. Because of the presence of the magnetic field, it is having a magnetic force. That magnetic force is balancing the weight of the rod. Therefore, that wire is weight of the wire. Therefore, the wire is suspended mid-air. Since it is suspended in the mid-air, we have to think about the weight is acting downwards and obviously this magnetic force is acting upwards, and these two are equal and balanced. Since it is balanced, it is suspended mid-air. Now that is the logic. Now we will work out solution. What are the given things? We will list it out first. Mass of the wire is given. So mass is equal to 200 gram. Now converting it into SI unit, that is kg, I will write it as 0.2 kg. 200 by 1000, that is 0.2 kg. Length of the rod is given. Now length is equal to, it is 1.5 meter. It is in SI unit. Okay. And current flowing through the rod is given. That current is equal to 2 amps of current is flowing. What we are going to calculate? We have to calculate what is the magnitude of the magnetic field. Obviously, we know the value of G, acceleration due to gravity, it is 9.8. Now look here carefully. A current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field. It experiences a force. Now, where is the direction of the force? That means now this wire, it experiences a magnetic force in the upward direction. But because of the weight is always acting towards the downward direction. Weight is acting downwards. The magnetic force is acting upwards. At some point, these two forces are balanced. They are balanced and hence the wire is suspended. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಸಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಂತಿದೆ, ಕೆಳಗೂ ಬೀಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೂ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಗ್ರಾವಿಟೇಷನಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆಯ್ಟ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ magnitude of the magnetic field. Now at equilibrium we have the force due to gravity, that is weight. It should be is equal to the magnetic force. Should be is equal to the magnetic force. Now force due to gravity, it is mass multiplied by the acceleration due to gravity. Since it is a current carrying conductor, just we have derived the expression is ILB. Now here sin theta term is there, but the current and the field are mutually perpendicular to each other. Therefore theta is equal to 90 degree. Therefore sin theta is equal to y. Therefore we get the simple relation m into g is equal to ILB sin theta. From this we are going to what we are going to calculate? We have to calculate the magnetic field. Therefore magnetic field is equal to m into g divided by I into L. Now simply substitute the values. M is 0.2 and we are familiar with the acceleration due to gravity. It is 9.8 divided by I. Current is 2 amps. 2 amps of current is flowing into 1.5 equal to 1.5. If you work out this one with the calculator, so I will get the final value 0.65 Tesla. The magnetic field is 0.65 Tesla. Now one important note is we have to consider is we are not considering the magnetic field due to the earth surface. We have neglected that one because its value is very small. It is of the order of magnetic field due to the earth surface is earth is 0.36 into 10 to the power of minus 4 Tesla. Since it is very small compared to this magnetic field, the applied magnetic field, we have neglected the contribution of this earth's magnetic field. Like that we are going to solve the problems. Now we will study the next concept of motion of a particle, charged particle in a magnetic field. We have a charged particle, it is moving in the presence of an external magnetic field. Then what is the nature of the force it is going to experience? That we will study. Now here we are studying 3 cases. Okay. Now case 1, let me start from here. Case 1. In that case, the charged particle is moving along the field direction, along B, vector B. That is velocity. Velocity is along vector B. If you write velocity vector, it is along the field direction. The charged particle is moving along the field direction. Then what is the force experienced? Okay. Now consider a charged particle of charge Q. We have a charged particle whose charge is Q and it is moving with a velocity vector V. Magnitude V ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. Now it is moving along the field direction. Along the field direction. That means the field direction ಮತ್ತೆ velocity. Velocity ಮತ್ತೆ field direction ಇಬ್ರು ಸೇಮ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, parallel ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. If that is the case, then what is the angle theta? Obviously, what is the angle between the velocity vector and the field vector? Theta is equal to 0. Then what is sine 0? Sine theta is equal to 0. Sine 0 becomes 0. So therefore, we have the expression for magnitude of the force, magnetic force experienced by the charged particle is QVB sine theta. We are only considering the magnitude, okay? So since theta is 0, the force becomes 0. That means even though we are having a magnetic field, even though charge is moving in the presence of the magnetic field, if the charge moves along the field direction or even opposite to the field direction, that is parallel to the field or anti-parallel to the field, even though it is moving and even though there is a magnetic field, it will not experience any magnetic force. The magnetic force experienced by that charge becomes 0. Now that is the first case. Now second case is very important one. Very important one and important for the examination point of view. They may ask, obtain the expression for radius of the path traversed by a charged particle moving in the presence of an external magnetic field. Radius ಗೆ expression ಕೇಳಬಹುದು or even frequency go. The frequency of revolution of a charged particle in the presence of a an external magnetic field. Frequency go expressions for that one, that purpose, this second case is very, very important one. Now, second case is, here we are considering the velocity vector is perpendicular to the magnetic field vector. Now, here it is along, that means parallel or anti-parallel. Now, in this case, velocity vector is perpendicular to the magnetic field vector. Now, this case is as shown in this diagram. Now, here we have a charged particle. It is having a charge q, moving with a velocity vector v. Now, here we have applied a uniform magnetic field. Now, the direction of the velocity is upwards in the plane of the board, and the direction of the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the board. Board ge perpendicular agi magnetic field anna apply madidive. Since it is entering into the plane of the board, it is denoted by into. Ella nodi into case into hakbittu represent madidive. Now, the velocity and the magnetic field are perpendicular. Now, velocity ee direction alli idane. Okay, magnetic field into idane. Velocity hige, magnetic field into idane. So, ee reeti perpendicular agi ಒಂದು particle, charged particle ಆ field ಅನ್ನ entry ಆದರೆ what will happens? In the previous class we have studied the magnetic field is, the magnetic force is maximum when the velocity and the field are mutually perpendicular to each other. That means now this charged particle experiences a maximum magnetic force. Magnetic force maximum experience ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, and that is given by the maximum magnetic force experienced by the charged particle is q into vb sin theta. General expression is vb sin qvb sin theta. Here theta is 90 degree so therefore we get a maximum force, that is qvb. Sin 90 is 1 ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ, therefore Fm is equal to QVB. It experiences a maximum force. Now, what is the direction of this force? Direction ನೋಡುವ. Now, the direction of the magnetic field here is given by, as we have said earlier, by the left hand rule. Okay, if you stretch the first 3 fingers of the left hand, the forefinger indicating the direction of the magnetic field, middle finger indicating the velocity of the charged particle, then the extended thumb always represents the force experienced by that charge. Now, based on that one, we are finding the direction of the force here. Now, assume that initially the particle is entering with a straight line. As and when it enters the magnetic field region, obviously it experiences magnetic force, because here we have taken theta is equal to 90 degree. That is the angle between the velocity vector and the field vector. Now, velocity is initially we have taken along this direction, that is vertically upwards, and the magnetic field is into the plane of the board. Okay. Now, at this point, look here. Now, velocity, now this is the velocity. The velocity is upwards. Middle finger is upwards. Okay. Now, forefinger is magnetic field. It is into the board. Magnetic field is into the board, and velocity, it is upwards. Then extend the thumb. The extended thumb, it is directed towards the center. So, therefore, the magnetic force is towards the center of this circular path. It is towards center. Therefore, the particle, it moves on bending. It goes on bending like this. Bend ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. Now, at this point, where is the direction of the force? Once again, you have to calculate by using this left hand rule. Okay. Now, this is the velocity vector. Now, velocity in this direction. Now, I will write it. I will hold like this, velocity in this direction. Now, forefinger, it is the magnetic field into the board. Therefore, thumb is directed towards the downwards. So, therefore, it experiences a force towards the center. So therefore, it goes on bending. It goes on bending, and if the particle comes at this point, the velocity. Now this is the velocity. Velocity is directed downwards. Therefore, velocity is in the downwards direction, and forefinger indicating the direction of the magnetic field. Then the extended thumb is representing the direction of the force. Therefore, it experiences the force towards the center. It goes on bending, 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 bending at this point. So look here, the velocity is along this direction and magnetic field is into the plane of the board. Then the extended thumb is representing the direction of the force. So therefore, whenever the velocity vector and the field vector are mutually perpendicular, this charged particle describes a circular path. It describes a circular path as shown in the figure. Since we have taken a positive charge, if it is a negative charge, what will be the nature? If it is a negative charge, then also we will get a circular path, but it is revolving in the clockwise direction. That's all. If it revolves in clockwise for a negatively charged particle. Since it is positive, the motion is in the anti-clockwise direction. That's all. Okay. So therefore, at equilibrium, here we are having a magnetic force of magnitude QVB. In order to travel in a circular path, we require a centripetal force. We require another force. That force is centripetal force. So therefore, centripetal force is given by mv square by r, that we have studied in first PUC. The centripetal force is necessary for the circular motion here, and that is provided by the magnitude of the magnetic force. So circular motion ಅಲ್ಲಿ centripetal force ಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನು provide ಮಾಡೋನು ಯಾರು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ? Magnetic force centripetal force ಅನ್ನು provide ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. Therefore, at equilibrium, these two forces are equal. Now here in the case of this centripetal force, what is m? It is the mass of the charged particle. V, it is the velocity obviously. And what is r? It is the radius of the circular path. It is the radius of the circular path. At equilibrium, these two are equal. Therefore, equating them, we will get mv square by r is equal to qvb. Now, 1v get cancels here. So therefore, it is mv by r is equal to q into b. We want the radius. Therefore, the radius of the circular path described by the charged particle is mv by qb or bq. Now, this is the expression for radius of the circular path described by a charged particle moving perpendicularly in the presence of an external field vector B. Okay. Now m into v, call it as momentum. It is obviously momentum. Therefore, radius is directly proportional to the velocity or the momentum, but inversely proportional to the charge. We should remember this one while solving some competitive examination points. Same moment ಇರೋ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಒಂದು ಆಲ್ಫಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಗೆ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ, ಆಲ್ಫಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಗೆ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಸೊ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಲಾರ್ಜರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ಫಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ it becomes smaller. Like that, you should analyze the relation ಅನ್ನು analyze ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ here. Okay. So therefore, the radius is given by mv divided by q into b. So it is going to take a circular path. If omega is the angular velocity, then we have a relation between the linear velocity and the angular velocity as v is equal to omega into r, that we know. Okay. V is equal to omega into R. Now substituting V is equal to omega into R, that the relation we have, there is equal to 2 pi nu into R, where nu is the frequency of rotation. So therefore nu is equal to, what is the value of nu? Here it is, from these two relations we are having V divided by 2 pi R. Okay. Now what is V by R from this relation? V by R becomes QB by M. Therefore frequency is equal to QB divided by 2 pi M. Because from this relation V by R becomes, so V by R becomes, it is QB divided by M. Therefore the frequency of revolution is equal to QB divided by 2 pi M. It is the frequency. If they ask to find the time period, then how can you write? We know that time period is equal to 1 upon frequency. If you take the reciprocal, we will get the time period of revolution of the charged particle in the presence of an external magnetic field. Now these are the different relations. The important thing is here. Now the frequency depends on the charge, mass of the particle and the applied external field. Now here it is independent of velocity. Independent of velocity. The frequency of revolution of the charged particle in the presence of a magnetic field is independent of velocity or the energy of the particle, and this is taken as the principle of a device called cyclotron. ಮುಂದೊಂದು ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಸೈಕ್ಲೋಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಏನು ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇದೆ, the frequency of revolution is independent of velocity or energy of the particle ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. Now that is the derivation part. Now we will study the third case. What is that third case? Case 3. Now the velocity vector has a component along the field direction. V vector has component along the magnetic field direction. That means this velocity, that is charge, is not at all moving along the field direction or perpendicular to the field direction. It is making a certain angle with the field direction. If that is the case, then what is the nature of motion of that charged particle in the presence of a magnetic field? Now since the velocity has a component, we will resolve that velocity. Now here we have resolved the velocity. Now velocity, actual velocity is along this direction. It is neither parallel nor perpendicular to the field. Therefore it is resolved into horizontal component and the vertical component. Now horizontal component we have represented it as V parallel and vertical component as V perpendicular. As we have already studied the two cases, now this velocity component, which is parallel component, it will not experience any magnetic force. Therefore that parallel component of velocity remains constant. That means particle tends to move along the field direction. But the vertical component of velocity is there. What it makes? It tries to bend or it tries to move in a circular path. So horizontal components takes the particle along the x-axis, but the vertical component of velocity takes the particle in a circular path, and these two motions combined together, we are getting an helical motion. Now this type of motion we call it as helical motion, and the path is called as helix. helical motion, and the path is called as helix. Helix anta karitivi. Horizontal component along the x direction karkondu hogta, vertical component circular path alli move aglike move madista. Therefore, combining these two, we are getting a path like a spring like path. Now this is a spring like path, and that path we call it as a helix, and the motion is called as a helical motion anta karitivi. Now it contains both the linear motion as well as the rotational motion. Now because of this rotational motion, we will have a radius for this circular path. Now what is the radius? Expression for the radius that we have earlier derived. Now radius is equal to, it is mv divided by qb. Radius is given by. And also we have studied in the previous derivation, the frequency is given by. Frequency is given by, it is qb divided by 2 pi m. Now from this frequency, what is the time period of revolution that we have also derived in the previous session? Therefore, time period of revolution is equal to 2 pi m divided by qb. These relations we have already derived in the circular motion, that is perpendicular motion, that is velocity perpendicular to the magnetic field case alli derivation madideve. We are getting these expressions. Now look here, therefore the radius in the case of a helical motion is also the same expression. We are getting the same expression, r is equal to mv divided by qb. But because of the horizontal component, that circular motion is not at all constant, it moving along the x direction with a horizontal velocity v parallel. V parallel velocity ondage x direction alli move aagta idane. So therefore, the distance traveled in one rotation along the horizontal motion is called pitch. Helical motion alli circular motion allu idane, horizontal motion idane. One circular motion alli agbekadre horizontal direction alli ಎಷ್ಟು distance ಅನ್ನು travel ಮಾಡ್ದ. One circular motion ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ horizontal direction ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು distance. Look here, ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರುವಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Now it is moving. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರೋಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ one circular motion ಆಯ್ತು. ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರುವಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೀಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್. Now this is pure circular motion. So here it is the combination of circular motion as well as a translatory motion. So therefore, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರುವಾದನು ಹೀಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ. Now this distance we call it as pitch in helical motion. The distance traveled in one rotation of helical motion along the field direction. We call it as pitch. Pitch anta ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನ. Now, how can you obtain the expression for the pitch? We know that velocity is equal to displacement divided by the time. Therefore, displacement is equal to velocity into time. That relation if you use. Now, therefore, displacement is nothing but, we call here it as pitch. Therefore, pitch is equal to, now velocity is, it is the horizontal component or the parallel component of velocity, that is v parallel, and t is the time period of one revolution. So, time period of revolution. So therefore, pitch is given by v parallel, and time period of revolution here we are having 2 pi m divided by q into b. Therefore, pitch is equal to 2 pi m v parallel divided by q into b. It is the expression for calculating the pitch, that is distance moved along the field direction in helical motion in one rotation. One rotation alli ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು, that we call it as pitch ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, now that is in the case of velocity having a component along the field direction. Clear? In nature we observe this type of helical motion, that is even in atmosphere. Now during the solar flares, some charged particles are coming out of the sun like electrons and protons. They are trying to enter the Earth's atmosphere. But our Earth has a protective shield in the form of a magnetic field. Now that magnetic field protects these charged particles. But these charged particles try to enter from the polar region. Polar region in the charged particles entry agli ಶುರುವಾಗ್ತದೆ. So ಹಾಗೆ entry ಆಗೋ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ there is an interaction between those charged particles with the atoms and molecules present in the atmosphere. Now that interaction produces a spectacular light, and that phenomena we call it as aurora. That phenomena we call it as aurora ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So ನಾರ್ದರ್ನ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ಲಾಂಟಾ ಕೆನಡಾ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಕಾಣುತ್ತದೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅರೋರಾ ಬೋರಿಯಾಲಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸದರ್ನ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸ್ಟ್ರೇಲಿಯಾ ಹತ್ರ ಕಾಣ್ಕೊಳ್ತದೆ. ದಟ್ ಅರೋರಾ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅರೋರಾ ಆಸ್ಟ್ರೇಲಿಯಾಲಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಾಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಲೈಟ್ಸ್ ಪೋಲಾರ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ that is due to this interaction of charged particles with the atoms and molecules present in the polar region. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಇರೋ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ, and while coming back to the ground state it emits green color. The oxygen emits green color. Similarly, there is a nitrogen also. It gets excited, and that nitrogen is going to emit pink color. Now these colors are absorbed in the atmosphere, and that phenomenon we call it as aurora. Now we'll solve one problem. What is the radius of the path of an electron of mass 9 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg and a charge 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb moving at a speed of 3 into 10 to the power of 7 meter per second in a magnetic field of 6 into 10 to the power of minus 4 Tesla perpendicular to it? What is its frequency? Calculate its energy in kilo electron volts. 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joules ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನು ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅದರ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಏನು, ಟೈಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಏನು, ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಏನು, ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಏನು, ಅಂಡ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್, ನಾವು ಗಿವನ್, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಗಿವನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್? Mass of the electron is given, therefore mass is equal to 9 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg mass. Charge is given, therefore charge E is equal to, so 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. Charge is given, is moving with a velocity of, therefore the magnitude of the velocity is given, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 7 meter per second. Velocity has given. In the presence of an external magnetic field, field strength is given 6 into 10 to the power of minus 4 Tesla perpendicularly. He has also mentioned, therefore theta is equal to 90 degree. Now what we are going to calculate? First we have to calculate the radius r, then we have to calculate the frequency of revolution, then we have to calculate the energy. Energy ಅನ್ನು ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. therefore radius r is equal to mv divided by qb. Direct formula, substitute and simplify. So mass is, it is 9 into 10 to the power of minus 31 multiplied by velocity, so 3 into 10 to the power of 7 whole thing divided by charge. It is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 multiplied by magnetic field, that is 6 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Now simplify this one, 1s and 2s, 9 by 3.2. If you work out, you will get 26. 2.6, I am getting 2.6. 9 divided by 3.2, if you work out, it is becomes 2.6 into 10 to the power of 31 minus 31 plus 7, it is minus 24 plus 19. If you come to the numerator, plus 19, 24 plus 19, it is minus 5 plus 4 is minus 1. So 10 to the power of minus 1, or R is equal to 26 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meter. 26 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meters. Our radius is equal to 26 centimeter. Next is frequency. Frequency can be calculated in two ways. Now frequency is equal to, by this relation, that is velocity v is equal to r into omega. Therefore velocity v is equal to r into omega is 2 pi nu. Our frequency nu is equal to velocity divided by 2 pi r. Now velocity they have given 3 into 10 to the power of 7 divided by 2 into 3.14 into radius, just we have calculated, we have to put it in SI unit, 26 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Okay, with the calculator, if you work out this one, I will get 2 into 10 to the power of 6. Frequency, it is hertz. Since it is 10 to the power of 6, we can write it as 2 megahertz. The frequency is 2 megahertz. Okay. Next one, you have to calculate energy. Now, how can you calculate energy? The energy is equal to half m v square. Half mass is 9 into 10 to the power of minus 31 multiplied by velocity. The velocity is 3. 3 into 10 to the power of 7 whole square. Now simplifying this one, I will get 40.5 into 10 to the power of minus 17 joules. It is in joules, but they have asked to write it in kilo electron volts. Now that is equal to 40.5 into 10 to the power of minus 17 divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joules. 2.5 into 10 to the power of plus 3 electron volt, or 2.5 into plus 3 can be written as kilo electron volts. That is the energy of the particle.